again. We are mother-daughter duo back again to have another interesting conversation about relationships. You're welcome with us in this space, and we hope that you like this little chit chat of us and take away something interesting or important about relationships.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to be discussing today?
We're going to be discussing another question that I asked my friend, and should just get right into it.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So the question is, whenever I talk to my friends about some issues with my relationship, a lot of the times I get told, just break up with them. They aren't good for you. Long distance relationships don't last. I feel very put down and it's very unhelpful. What do I do about this?
So, what did they say about feeling? I feel very.
Put down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a very specific question coming from somebody's personal experience because it just doesn't talk about them seeking advice and friends saying something, but it also has an element of a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
So probably this person is in a long distance relationship, so there are like different elements to it.
Yeah.
One element is to seek advice and and what's happening there, whether it's a good advice or a bad advice, and then your own feelings about it.
Yeah.
So let's keep a long distance element on the side.
Okay.
Because that's like another conversation in itself. Right? There's a lot that can be talked about long distance relationships. So let's just discuss the part of advice today.
Sure.
So you've read that question. What do you think this person is really bothered about in terms of advice?
I think a lot of the times you just want to you're chatting with your friends and you just want to say that this is what happened and this is what, irritated me or made me a little sad. And the friends are like, oh, this is a boundary you should not cross. This is unhealthy for you. And you don't look at it that way. And you just want to, kind of just vent, maybe. Just get it out, and you still want to, work on this relationship. But when you're not getting that from other people, it can be a little frustrating. Because then you're like, should I really work on this? Everyone's saying that I shouldn't, but I really love this person.
I know.
So then the question of how much, can I tolerate, and when do you even break up, right?
Yeah. And even before getting into the nuances about what is it that is happening within your own relationship, I think we need to understand, first of all, why do people share and talk with each other, right? And it's not just about women, even men. I think they talk and discuss, not maybe as much as women, but they also share and discuss about their life experiences, their relationships, or any challenges that they come across. And like you said, sometimes all that people need is to talk and vent out a situation. They're not always seeking for a solution or a suggestion.
Yes.
Or an advice.
Absolutely.
Right? But in our close relationships and with our friends, because we come from a place of caring for the individual, sometimes we do not make those distinctions. That why is this person sharing? We get emotionally involved in their story and then let out those advice or which are actually unsolicited.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we all do that.
I mean, a lot of the times it's also you don't know what else to do. right? So you're unsure of what to do, so you're just like, like how people, they get nervous and they don't know what to say, so they just like keep talking, keep throwing words. So maybe that's their way of trying to comfort them because they don't know any other way.
Yes, I think you have picked on a very important point, is that when we are listening and we intend to comfort other people, but what about our own comfort while listening to our friends or somebody? Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we can also start to feel uncomfortable with what is being shared in front of us, what somebody is saying, or we might be holding certain judgment about the person, and that may be playing up on our mind while we are listening to people, right?
Yeah.
So and then are we even aware, like, how am I feeling about what I'm listening or what is being shared with me? And so is it that I want to comfort the other person and that's why I'm responding, or is it because
I want to comfort
I want to
myself.
comfort myself, right?
But then, like, but then you're making the situation about yourself, and you're not giving the other person, the space for them to just unwind.
It's a very interesting thing, that our reference point is always us,
Yeah.
right? Whether we are consciously aware of it or we are not, our reference point is always us. Most of the times, even when it may seems like, or we may say that we are doing it for other people,
It's always
ultimately,
for
eventually,
us.
we are just doing it for ourselves.
Yeah. Because we want to see other people happy at the end of the day. We want that.
It's not even the question of wanting. I think it is more a question of what is really possible for us.
What do you mean?
We are individuals within this mind body, right? Can I be anything outside of this body? Can I experience outside of this body?
Seems like a trick question.
No, it's not a trick question. It's just it is. Whatever sensations, emotions I feel within my own body, right?
Yeah.
So my reference point of every experience would always be just me. Like yours will always be you.
Right.
Right? So it is very natural for us to first notice our own sensations, our own feelings, except there is an except. Which is some people live or stay in a state of disassociation or denial from their own bodies, from their own being. Especially whenever some people have gone through any kind of a traumatic experience in life, right? Maybe in early childhood or growing up years, or maybe some kind of a huge trauma like being in a war or life-threatening accidents or things of that sort. We sometimes learn to disassociate from our own feelings. So in that way, we are not aware of what's going on in our body, what kind of emotions are showing up for us. We are just driven by whatever is happening in our body instead of being aware of it. And you'll be surprised, a lot of people may not relate to this kind of experience, and they say, like, you know what, my life experience has been normal, like nothing drastic has ever happened in my life and I'm fine. But then I will ask you, how many people would say that, oh, I was going somewhere and then I realized that, oh, I hurt somewhere in my leg or in my arm, or I got bruised and I didn't realize, like, where did I get hurt?
Yeah.
Right? Or who would impulsively just act out or out of any kind of emotion, and then later on will say like, why did I get reactive like that?
Yeah.
Right? So what is happening in the moment? Or a lot of people who would say that, I don't feel the hunger, I don't feel when I'm hungry, or during the summer days, like I don't realize when to drink water and they will get dehydrated. How would you not realize that you are thirsty or you're hungry, that you need to eat food? Or a lot of people who do not realize when is my stomach full and I should stop eating, or I shouldn't eat that because I'm not really hungry, my body doesn't need more food, but still we eat out of what do we call,
Boredom.
out of boredom or out
Or
of excitement,
yeah, or out of sadness.
right. And so many people who know that smoking is not good for them, but still they get addicted to it and do smoke or drink or do drugs. There are so many examples of the ways in which we are actually disassociated from our own bodies and our own experiences. Right? And so that is something quite important to consider and see, like how much aware we are. And we've drifted away to the
We have a little
to the topic of not being aware of your own self. So let's gently come back to the idea of when we are sharing our concerns or our challenges or our issues with people. One thing to be considered by the one who's sharing is to be very clear, why are you sharing? What do you seek?
Right.
Right? Like I remember once when you came to share something with me, and then I started to ask you some question and I'd guide you, and you were like, can you just please listen?
That happens a lot. It happens a lot.
A lot?
That happens a lot.
I'm hurt.
Like, I'm just telling you something and you start to like go into this coach mindset and like, okay, let's unpack that. I'm just like, can you just agree with me? Can you just be like, yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I understand that.
Yeah.
And then I come back to it, right?
Right.
But you can't blame me. I am a coach, right? So my mind works like that. Okay.
It has its perks and its disadvantages sometimes.
Yes, I agree. So sometimes the only need is for you to have somebody as a sounding board, or maybe just seek validation. Like, this is what I've thought out, and not really seeking any creative ideas coming from the other side. All I want to do is to just say it out loud in somebody's presence and see if it makes sense.
Right.
Right? Or sometimes all you need is a catharsis. Right? Just vent and say it and then feel okay.
Yeah.
Right? So there could be different needs. So I think one thing which is very important for us is to recognize, why are we sharing something? Are we really wanting some solution, some advice, some suggestion? Right? How open we are while sharing, because that could also be a question. Most of the times we may assume that, oh, just because I'm sharing means that I am absolutely open for anything to happen.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not necessary that that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what need to happen at the end of the one who is listening? Any guesses?
Just listen. And see, I think there's a time, if you really think that what's happening with the other person is wrong, or that they don't deserve that or anything, I think there are different times you can tell the person. Maybe when they're in a different mood, when they're not all worked up about telling you all, because at that moment I think they're seeking validation for their own experiences, for their own feelings, and they just want someone to listen to them. So when they're at that point, when they're feeling that way, think anything you say, which you're trying to help them, but it might seem to them like you're attacking them and their relationship or judging, so they get defensive, or they start feeling like, okay, like maybe I shouldn't have shared this, right? So if you do feel there is something genuinely, hurting them, I think you can always tell them at a later point, be like, hey, now that you've calmed down, I noticed this. What do you feel? Like, how do you feel about this? Right?
Yes.
But during that time, I think you have to assess the situation. And again, like, listen to what the other person wants from you and proceed with caution.
Exactly. I would say not just caution. Of course, you would know, like, who in your friend circles, your inner circle, or your family is what kind of person, what do they usually seek from you. But caution here would be more like being aware as to what really the person wants from you. So instead of making an assumption on our own, it's simple to ask the other person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
do you just want to rant?
Yeah, what do you want me to do for you? Like, should I just listen, or are you open for some suggestions or ideas? Like, right? And that, I think, solves a lot of potential judgments or feeling bad or things of that sort. And like you said, that even if in moment you feel like, you are picking on something or observing something about the other person which you have to bring to their notice, there is a way to say those things.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot that is in this one question about not just the interpersonal relationships or how to listen or how to make space for other people, but also the self-awareness. Like you said, although I'm a coach by profession, but I'm also a mom, right? So different things are expected of me. I'm also a wife, a sister, so I can't just be staying with one hat on my head and say, okay, so I'll hold space for you, say anything, right?
Oh, wait, let me put on my mom hat right now. Okay. Then remove it. Coach hat.
Yeah. Or like some days when you come and say, I just want to share gossip.
That's most of the days.
Which is like, just listen and have fun with me and make big eyeballs and say, wow, and ask more.
That's why I talk more to my dad about these things. He has the best reactions.
Yeah, he's a good gossiper.
Yeah, but sometimes he gets too invested. Which is like, there needs to be a fine balance.
Yeah.
As, people gossip. It's an art.
Absolutely. I think everything in life is an art. Conversation, listening, living, loving, asking questions.
Yeah. We got off track again.
No, but I hope we've sort of answered this question, is that before you go out to share anything with your friends or family or people, have some little bit of clarity as to why you're sharing and what is it that you want to come out of it. And when somebody else is sharing with you, then also seek some kind of a clarity as to what really is this person's expectation of you. Are they seeking validation? Are they seeking only a sounding board? You can just listen to them. Are they seeking any creative, constructive critique right? And then because not all of us even have all these kind of capabilities, right? Like I remember when you used to ask me about your artwork and say, okay, I want some critical feedback, and I would say, I have no zero clue about critiquing
So
an art, right?
So you also gotta, see who you're talking to.
Yeah.
If they are the right person to seek
Yes.
help from. And also if you've at the end of the day, it's your relationship.
Yeah.
You're the only one who knows what's good for you and what's not. So even if people are like, like maybe this is, what if they've never been in a relationship?
Yeah.
What do they know about like holding and how much you put into it, how much, and everyone's tolerance levels are different. You might tolerate something, but the other person might not.
Yeah.
So whatever the other person's saying, take it with a grain of salt, see if this really applies to you, if you why with it. If not, then I think you can ignore some of the things that other people say as well if you don't agree with it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to take everything into account. Sometimes you just gotta learn to throw it away for your own good.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally agree with that. Like knowing who to ask for what, and also knowing what is the perspective of the other person when they are sharing certain things with you. Because if we focus only on what is being said and not on why somebody said something, it doesn't convey the complete meaning, and you wouldn't know what to do with their response or their reaction. So, we, by all means, talk, share, explore, because what it does, it widens your perspective. When you go out and share, like, I also don't agree with this fact wholly that, oh, it's my relationship, my life, so I am solely responsible for it, so I'll do whatever I think of it, right? When we are open to invite or to think of our own life and our own experiences through different perspectives, it broadens our capacity, it broadens our understanding and our horizons. Right? But then at the end of the day, this distinction you have to make as to what perspective you're going to invite and you're going to experience, and what perspective is not meant for you. Right? And by all means, when some issues or challenges are really serious in your relationship, so much so that when they start to hurt your physical health, your mental health, or they are tormenting you emotionally, I strongly urge to seek help, seek advice, not just from family and friends, but from some people who are really available to provide that kind of support. Those can be your counselors or your coaches or relationship experts or advisors. Why? And it's not bad to go back to your family or friends and talk to them, but like Srishti, you said earlier, it would depend what are their own personal experiences, right?
And they're also like trained to listen to you.
Yeah.
And not really give you not get invested in it. So they can give you objective advice and like really tell you what they're seeing.
Yeah. Exactly. Like even in our case, although I'm a coach, but can I very objectively, without getting involved in your personal matter, give you a rational advice?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Because I'm also a mom. So I would always think from the perspective of being a mom too. And, can I really keep that role aside? Yeah, maybe for the usual friendship stuff, yes. But would I be a good advisor in your marriage life in future?
Who knows?
Probably not. I don't know. We haven't come to that great spot yet, but I'm just saying, I'm just being open to the fact that you never know. Maybe the mom in me just kicks in so hard that I can't hold myself in a rational space.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I think there's no harm in being open and reaching out to the people who can really support you and help you. And yeah, and always have a thought in your mind that whoever you're reaching out and talking to, probably they have a best of intentions for you in their heart, but they probably just don't know the way how to help you or support you best. So uh, that's all, I think. What more can we say to that question?
Just enjoy life.
Yes. And whatever, wherever you are, just seek clarity.
Yeah.
Give clarity. That always helps.
Use your mouth. It's given to you. Use it.
I'll say use it well.
Okay. If you're getting nitpicky now, yeah. You
Learn the art of using your mouth, I would say. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for listening to our rambling and bantering. We'll meet again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.